boys, listen up, ho.
If you can listen to this, you really provided some musical shit for us to spit and talk about, you piece of shit.
I don't have boobies, so I
don't
draw
have
them
boobies,
on
so
me.
I make them.
Now I have boobies.
No, boobies. No, what was I gonna say?
It's a full grab.
My sister sent me a video from a year ago, and it said 1 year ago today. It was a Snapchat memory, and it was her going last titty grab of my fake tits, and she took a video of it, and she goes, meh, and she's like squeezing my fake tit. Yeah.
Oh,
R.I.P. But
I love that.
To the old me.
R.I.P.
to the old me.
So on this episode of LadyBallerz, it is dedicated to Steph and all those fuckboys out there. Listen up, folks.
Wait, that makes me sound bad. That makes me sound like I'm out here slinging
fuck
left
boys.
and right.
No, we're just.
Why do I attract them?
No, we all go through the phase. We're just in the phase of you're like flicking all the fuckboys out. You're learning which ones are fuckboys.
It's almost like there's always going to be mosquitoes in the world.
But
depending on your blood type, they might stay away from you. So I just need to have a better blood type.
I don't think that's right, counselor.
That was a beautiful analogy.
Let's talk about that, because I don't know about you guys. I grew up a people pleaser, a doormat, to the extent, like to an unhealthy extent. You guys still see it every day. Like, truthfully, I won't take the comfy part of the couch because I'd rather have them have the comfy parts of the couch. And it makes, or I'll be watching a show, they'll come in and they'll be like, sitting down, and I'm like, well, what do you guys want to watch? And they're like, it's fine, just keep what you're watching on. I'm like, no, we must watch something that you guys want to watch.
I literally am like, Steph, I want to watch the show you were watching, and she still doesn't get it. And I'm like, no, seriously, put on what you were watching. Like, I want to watch it. And she's like, no. Like, and she'll put something else random on, and I'm like, honestly, I don't like this. Can you just put your show on? Fine.
So it ends up biting me in the butt. But moral of it all,
So sweet.
I have that issue with dating, and I let energy into my life that I don't want, that isn't good for me, that doesn't serve me. Did you guys go through that phase as well, or were you always very much like, he's a jerk, bye? You know what I mean? Like, were you easy to just always dismiss those who suck, or were you like me and were like, I feel like I have to just entertain this?
Definitely went through a fuckboy phase. Like, definitely. Like, all throughout my, like,
I think
early 20s.
I need a bigger glass of wine for this one.
I feel better now.
Definitely went through a fuckboy stage, for sure.
I feel like, I can't say that we all do. We all do not go through that phase.
Right, I do have some
people,
friends that are just like, fuck you.
I feel like we're all, like, helpers, and we want to help, like, heal people, which is not possible.
Right.
And that's just, like, I don't know.
You
so
have
we
to heal yourself.
are attracted, like, we see, like, a wounded man, and we're like, oh.
Yes, a broken wing.
Yeah.
From an old past girlfriend.
Let me save you.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's never going to fucking work.
Nah.
Ever.
No, and also that just reminded me, really quick side note, and then we'll get back on track. I forgot to tell you guys the funniest part of my therapy session on Thursday. I know I bring up therapy every
I love it.
time.
She gets home from therapy, and I'm like, so what's the gossip?
Yeah, so
what's the tea?
what's the new shit?
What did you cry about today?
What's the new breakthrough?
Yeah.
This was the funniest shit ever. My therapist is like a 60-year-old man, and he somewhat knows English. I don't know how it works out so well, but it does. Well, I think it does. But anyway, he is literally, we're in the office talking about this particular issue, right? And I was like, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like, I do what I have to do to get through the situation. I'm too nice, and I do what I have to do, and then I flee. Like, I'm a fleer. I just flee. Every situation that's uncomfortable, where people make me feel bad, so I, like, wait till it's safe, and then I run. And in therapy, he literally made me go, well, he was like, why don't you just say, fuck you, go away? Have you ever tried that? And I was like, no, I have never tried that. And he's like, say it. I'm like, fuck you, go away. He's like, say it again. I'm like, fuck you, go away. And he's like, not laughing, say it like I had to say it 4 times. He made me yell, fuck you, go away in therapy.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, back up.
I love
Great,
that.
that's amazing.
That's
I just
great.
thought that was awesome. It felt really.
It's like when you
I
like, or
couldn't
people
even
like
take it
just
seriously.
scream, like
Right.
let it out,
Right.
like just
Yeah.
let it out.
Well, and like, don't, if someone is a shit person, I look back at all the times where I have suffered through a date or suffered through an encounter or tried to help their broken wing and rehab their emotional shit just so that they can be emotionally available. I'm like, why did I even spend the time? Like, why didn't I just say, fuck you, go away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why fuckboys continuously continue to be fuckboys and are
Yeah.
getting away with it and carrying it on and hurting other people so
Yeah.
many times is because they know that they can get away with it and no one's actually shutting it down.
Yeah, true.
And or like being like, well, fuck you, bye.
Right? They'd be like,
Yeah.
oh God, like that has never happened
Right.
before.
Exactly.
Like there have been a few times where I've been like fucked around with, and I literally am just like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I have like
see that for you.
like
I
I've
see that
like
for both of you.
left. Like I've just like left, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you fuck with me, you're done. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, bye.
I
It
love
takes me a little while. It didn't like happen overnight, but
Yeah.
like after it happened a few
Yeah.
times, I was like, I don't deserve this. Like I'm
Yeah.
not like dealing with this anymore.
Yeah.
I think
So,
you
like,
get to a point where you value your time so much more and you like value yourself. So you're like, I actually don't care what you think of me. Like, I'd rather go home and be alone.
Like
And
I've been that bitch who literally like pulled away from a guy. Like this sounds like a movie. Like it literally was a movie. But
I love
like
that.
just like found out some shit that wasn't good, and I just like grabbed all my stuff, walked out. I was like, I'm leaving. And just like walked out the door, drove away. He's like running out of his house.
Dramatic.
Like it's
In the
literally, and
rain.
you just see him in the rear view. No, it actually was raining. Fuckboys especially, I feel like you have to put them in their
Yeah.
place.
You know what I think the problem is like, I feel so bad for them because as fuck boy as they are, I know it's from a place of them being so broken or like tainted or having a shitty upbringing or really a bad divorce going on in their family or something. And so it's like, I almost feel bad for being mean to them, but at the same time, they're being mean to me. Like mean.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why am I protecting someone? It all goes back to that, like, it's a huge philosophical question of like, do you owe kindness and like understanding to someone that makes you feel like shit and takes your energy, even if it's from a place of them being hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of malicious.
And I think that, like, when it comes down to it, there's no excuses for the way that you're treated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you're being kind to somebody, or if you're in a relationship with somebody, or if you're getting to know somebody, you deserve that person to treat you the way that they want to be treated, not the way that they might have been treated by their parents or whatever the situation growing up might have been that made them the way they are. And it's one of those things too where it's like just having that utmost respect for yourself and knowing like, I don't deserve to be treated like this. And, you know, like going to college, you know, and at FSU, there's, you know, everyone's young, like 18.
Party school.
Yeah, party school. And also in college, like in fraternities, like everyone's young, everyone's fuckboys. But I just kind of knew like, I also just valued myself a lot more to allow somebody to treat me like that. So like, I'm like that type of person where like, if you fuck me over once, bye.
Yeah, me too.
Like, you don't get a second chance with
Yeah.
me when you fuck me over.
Because you become ugly to
And
me.
it's not saying that I don't give second chances to people. I believe like people do deserve second chances, but there's just something with a respect of like, I have like that sense. I can catch fuckboys right off the bat. And so like, if I'm disrespected early on, I'm like, no, he's going to do it again. And
100%.
Yeah.
You're
and
showing
so
your
like,
cards so early, dude.
exactly. And so I really learned at like an early age of like being able to spot like fuckboys and know who I don't want to give my time to. And it's funny because when they like fuck you over and you're like, okay, bye, and you like don't give them the attention that they think that they're gonna get again, then they're like, wait, what? And they come back like little puppies and they're like, why isn't she giving me attention? Why isn't she calling? Why isn't she texting me back? And it's like, it feels so good to know that like Well, fuck you, because
doesn't work on us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think it like really comes with being able to spot that and respect yourself enough to be like, you ain't worth my time.
And I
Fuck
think
boy.
a lot of people get tripped up. And
Yeah.
I've had this in the past where you're afraid to stand up to someone because you're afraid of losing them. And it's twisted because you know they're not good for you. You know that's probably not your person. You know that they don't meet your standards. And yet you're still afraid to put your foot down because you're afraid of losing them. When you know that's what should probably happen.
Yeah.
And so I think like it's important to remind yourself, your gut feelings, your body, all of that is probably telling you something, and it's okay to lose people. And it's hard because you remember the good.
Yeah,
so
they're
like
nice. They have good qualities,
Right.
but it doesn't excuse it. It's
so
like,
what do you do if someone shows you a masked version of themselves to a point where you believe they are such a gentleman, such a good guy, and then within just a short period of time they flip a switch, there's something in the dynamic that switches, and they start like almost digging at you and just like being mean and not respecting you? Like, what do you do then when you saw this person for what you thought they really were, and then all of a sudden it's like a quick switch? Like, have you guys ever experienced that?
Just asking for a friend.
So I think it comes down to first kind of understanding what makes a fuckboy a fuckboy. Like, what is a fuckboy, right? And I think it comes from a place of understanding why are they acting the way they're acting. Are they emotionally unavailable? Are they still in that young phase that they haven't worked on themselves?
Are they under 30? Excuse
Yeah,
me.
and you know, like I always say that joking around, but you know, you do meet people in their 20s who have
There's some
progressed.
Right. It's not general.
I think there's a gap. I think there's a gap between when a guy, a boy, I should say, looks at a female, looks at a girl as like, I just want to fuck you,
Right.
versus looking at a female and a woman as like, I actually want to build a meaningful relationship with you. And so it's kind of determining that as well. And I think a lot of the times it's like them coming also from a fear of like being vulnerable, letting their walls down, letting people in.
Getting hurt
Yeah.
again.
And you can really tell when you meet somebody, like if they feel super closed off, or even if like, I always say like materialistic things don't matter. And to me, when a guy wants to show off right away, what kind of car they drive, where they live, what their clothes are look like, and just like all the money
There's a
that they
difference
have.
between having that and then going to
Yes.
extremes to show it off.
Yes.
So we don't have a
Right.
problem with money. We have a problem
Like-
with people abusing.
Yeah.
Like take you on like an extravagant trip, like
Right.
right
away.
off the bat. Like
Right.
Love
first
bomb.
month. Like
Love
it's
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
love bombing
yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
And so
That's
I
a big
think,
fuckboy thing.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think it's first coming to that sort of conclusion of like, do these things matter to you? And if somebody's treating you the way that they're treating, trying to like love bomb you with all these things, to me that's a red flag off
If
the
it's-
beginning.
Yes, and if it's like so good to be, like it's too good to be true, it's probably a fuckboy. Like if it feels like, oh my god, there's no way this can be real. Like he took us to Hawaii and then he told me like, or he asked me all these questions about like what I want in life and all this deep shit on the first date. I've had that happen before where I'm like, oh my god, we connected so much, and it's like, no, they know exactly how to get my like heart throbbing. I mean, like,
They know what they're doing.
they know what they're doing. They're good with their words.
One of my girlfriends would always say, you accept the love you believe you deserve. And it's so true. Like, you do. Like, when you're, like, not feeling your best and just, like, don't think highly of yourself. Like, I've definitely been there. And it's like, yeah, like, that's when I had, like, the shittiest relationships in my life. Like, I've met a lot of great people and, like, experienced their time, but it's just, like, during those times when I was at my lowest, it's like I wasn't accepting good people into my life. And honestly, I think, I mean, everything goes to a deeper level and like honestly traces back to your childhood. But like, if you feel like you weren't accepted by your parents, maybe like you're trying, it's like touching the,
You're trying to
my
fix your
therapist
childhood.
would say, it's like, yeah, you're trying to fix your childhood. It's like touching the stove, a hot stove, thinking that there's going to be a different
right.
every time, like a different outcome. And you're like trying to like resolve that story. So it's kind of like reaching for love in that place and acceptance, and like you will do anything
You're gonna reach
to
for
gain
the love
that
you know
acceptance.
you won't get.
Right. And it's like, it's not going to happen.
It's not, you're not going to be the one to change them. And I think you made up a good point, or brought up a good point of that, saying you accept the love you think you deserve. Because from the fuckboy perspective and their point of view, plot twist, what if the reason they don't want people that actually want them, because maybe they look at those people like, how do you want me? You're fucking crazy. Like they're almost disgusted in you for wanting them.
Yeah.
Because they hate themselves. Like I truly think that's what it is. Like the people that are like, I don't want someone that's showing it. Because I've had these conversations with guys. I'm like, do you pull away when someone starts showing interest? And they're like, yeah, it's just kind of like, ugh. Like it's like I like them until they like me. And it's because it's repulsive to them to think someone actually likes them because they don't like themselves. Like I really believe that's like the root of it all. And if you like yourself and someone likes you for that, like you'll understand where they're coming from, and you both are on this same wavelength of energy. Whereas if you're only interested in people that are blowing you off and not interested in you, you're gonna be like, oh, they have it right, because you don't like yourself. You know what I mean? They'll be like, does that make sense?
I think it does, and I think it really is like a full sabotage.
Yeah.
I think they sabotage themselves when they start to feel happy. They need to ruin it and sabotage what's going good because they're fearful of like that they deserve it.
Yeah.
And also, I think that's where cheating comes into, right? Like I personally don't stand for cheating at all. Like that to me is like big no-no. But I feel like it's like, where does that stem from? Like, you know, were they cheated on themselves? Do they feel like they're not deserving of love or giving love to somebody else, so they hurt somebody else?
They're
in the
afraid
meantime,
their partner will cheat,
yeah,
so they're like, I'm gonna do it
first, right?
Do it.
And that's trust issues. Like it just comes down to a lot of internal issues that you avoid doing the work on because you're scared of like actually facing the fear and seeing what's on the other side, heading into our mission statement, right?
You're afraid to attach to something good because you're afraid of that good thing going away.
Yeah. It's like the games. Like we're like, why are there always games?
Yeah.
Like it's like,
hate
oh,
it.
let me like show interest, and then that person pulls away.
Right.
And then like they start showing interest, and then you kind of slowly pull away.
And then
it's
they
like,
then
why
text
is there
you.
this back and
Yeah.
forth game?
Just be
like
so
always.
transparent.
It's
right.
I will say though, and I think you guys have gotten to this place obviously before me, but I truly now can honestly say I'm repulsed by people that can't express how they feel to me. Like that there's this basketball player that was talking to me who's this used to getting any girl he wants, this stupid hot shot. Okay, I shouldn't speak of him so poorly. But like he could not just admit that he liked me. Like he would just be so passive aggressive and mean to me and shoot shots at me and like
I'm
honestly,
not your
talk to me
sister.
like
Don't
you
be
fucking-
like,
exactly. It was,
I
like,
am not your
mean.
sister. Do not be mean to me.
Like,
Do not throw
nagging.
daggers at me.
Yes, like could never just be straight up and be like, you look nice, and be like, what are those shoes or something? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you
Just
trying
give
to
a
date me then? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so I literally just told him, I was like, I'm sorry, like you can't even just admit that you like me. Like this cannot happen. And I'm disgusted by that now, and I'm disgusted by games. Like I think it's so sexy when someone can just be like, I really like you. Like that's, oh my God, it makes me like,
And like,
be like, damn,
and like be able
a
to
man.
like say things that they like about you.
Yeah, not
But-
just like,
Yeah, but like honestly, give yourself more grace and don't be too hard on yourself because you are in this phase of learning so much. And I've seen recently you put into action, like putting people into their place and sticking up for yourself and having a voice. And
Yes, you
right,
did.
yes, you have.
did.
And that takes a lot of freaking courage.
Yeah.
That takes LadyBallerz to be able
That's
to
what I
like
think
be
about.
like, I don't deserve this. I
Yeah.
deserve better than this. I'm not trying to play games. Like I
Yes.
am not that girl anymore that you can play with.
And being able to have that conversation, like
I'm not
instead of
afraid
just
to
like
do
walking
that.
away, it's like face to face, like
Snaps for
I
Steph.
love that shit though. Like I want to like
Yeah.
hash. Well, I'm like a hasher outer. Like if there's something on my mind, I'm like, no, we're not gonna go and text and pretend everything's fine and then like ignore each other for. No, like we're gonna talk it out. If you want to do this, cool. If you don't, bye.
Yeah.
But I think as women, we often put other people's needs before our own, or we like feel that we need to. And so while it's really uncomfortable to like stand up for yourself or even just like walk away, like it's scary. It's like scary. It's weird. It's like this person's treating you like garbage, but why are we afraid to walk away? But then I like personally recently had to just be like, I need to remember that I have very high standards, and regardless of me being hurt by this person doing XYZ, if I sit back, does this guy even meet my standards? Like, I'm tripping about someone that doesn't even meet my standards of like how they treat me. So then I'm like, wait, why am I sad? You know what I mean? It's like, you're not good enough for me, like for what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's
And that's
so
a good
funny.
perspective too, though, to like flip that perspective and be like, you don't check my
Yeah.
boxes.
Right, and
Exactly.
it's mostly the case, right? Like, it usually is like you're maybe hesitant or you're not so into it, and then when they're the ones that pull away, then we get sad. It's like the ego part of it. But it's like, do they even check my boxes?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And that's like the definition of the fuckboy too, is like they will make you feel like you're not good enough. They will make you feel like you're not
flip
pretty
it.
enough. They'll make you feel like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? But in the end of it, it's not you, woman.
Woman, it is not you.
Ladies, it is not you. It is them. And so, to step back and be like, well, hold on. Like, they don't check my box. They're disrespecting me. They're talking to me this way. They're treating me like that. Like, they're the issue, not me.
Yes.
And that's like a huge realization.
That's a good
to like
point.
start to attract better, because like Tara said, the energy you put out is the energy you're gonna get in. What you put out is what you're gonna get in with love and relationships.
Yeah, and like you made a good point too. Do they make you feel small? Because if you're feeling like you have to like fight for it to work, and like, you know, you're kind of anxious all the time, you're like trying so hard to like make it work, that what they're doing is working. They're trying to make you feel small and like conquerable, and you kind of fawn to them and meet their every need, instead of you sitting back and being like, wait, do I even like him? It's like, I'm doing all this, but do I even like him?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. It's like a comfort thing. Like, I feel like, I don't know, like, and especially when you first start talking to someone, it's like exciting, it's fun.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
It's like, and then they like show you something bad, and it's like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Bye.
No, it's so
and
true.
like, all you can hope is that like when you do walk away, hopefully they learned like one thing from that
We
experience.
always leave them better than we find them.
Yeah, just like even if they learn one thing, it's like hopefully. I mean, it doesn't even matter, but like hopefully in their next encounter or whatever. I mean, you know
I
what?
do
It
think
does
piece
matter
by
because
piece
we
they
care about
do
all the
learn.
women in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like maybe they'll treat someone else better because
Yeah,
they
I agree.
learned
The lesson,
something
right.
from you.
Yes,
Yeah.
consequences come with
Yeah.
behavior like
And
that.
that's kind of what I want to like encourage you guys is like, don't get discouraged with dating. Like it literally,
I
it's
had a breakdown
dating,
today.
Yeah, dating is hard, and dating takes time. It takes putting in effort, and not always are you going to get it right on the first try, right? Not always is it going to be the second
billionth.
or the billionth, but like, honest, if you are looking for a relationship, if that's what you want, leaving out, you know, the ones that aren't your person to eventually come across one that will be your person, and just know that like, dating is fun too, you know, like you learn so much. You learn so much more about yourself and your standards and what you want and what you expect from a partner.
And you can practice walking away from fuckboys.
Yeah.
Like, I was on a date, I came home to Ashley, I was like, I left that date because he disrespected me. And I just like told him I was leaving. And it's like, you can practice that on those dates. Like dates aren't, I think people just like speak like, oh, you date so much. It's like, yeah, it's fucking practice. Like, it's not like an easy art. Like, you're learning so much about yourself in your 20s, and like,
And sometimes you get really good friends out of it too. You meet great
Yeah.
people. Maybe they're not
Most
your
of mine.
person, but like
Right.
you meet a
It
lot of
usually
great
happens
people.
to me.
Yeah.
But it's like,
So,
hey, at least I have a lot
don't
of
give
guy
up.
friends.
At least you got friends.
That's
Yeah. No.
It's just like working that muscle. I know I'm so annoying saying that all the time.
No,
but
that's
it's like
what I
something
love
my
using.
therapist told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like literally just working that muscle and
It
like
is.
getting comfortable with like stepping away when you feel that
Yeah.
this person is no longer serving you.
And sometimes it's not right. And sometimes it's just like you really care for somebody and everything you feel like it's like, oh, they're great, but there's something missing. And that's okay to listen to your gut as well. and to
they
be
don't
like,
have to be a fuck boy.
it's just not my person. Right. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, just stay confident.
I can talk about this.
I know.
Like, there's so
This
much
is
other
a
stuff
hot
I want to say
topic.
about F boys, but another thing is like just for everyone out there, there's obviously fuck girls. We mostly date men here, so we're using fuck boys as
Yes.
as a term.
But
there's
for
obviously
guys,
fuck
there's
girls.
fuck girls.
No one in this world is perfect. We're talking about just people that treat you shitty and aren't transparent with you and have emotional availability issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The fuckery doesn't discriminate. I'll tell you that. It does
It
not
goes both
discriminate.
ways. Yeah. So
both ways.
just be a good person.
Just be honest. Like
be
literally
vulnerable.
just be honest.
Be
Be
truthful.
upfront. Show your true self. Like,
Be you.
And don't play the game of who can care less.
Yeah.
I hate that game.
Yes.
Right.
Welcome
don't
to
play
San Diego.
games.
yes.
But like,
I'm
for
not
real,
here for the
we're
games.
done with
We're
that
not here
shit,
for the
everyone.
games.
2023, we're done.
we are done.
Yeah.
We can write that off.
As an
but-
expense.
I remember one
Just
time
like-
I told somebody, I was like, oh my God, I love games. And I was like, wait, not those kind of
Like, let's
games.
clarify.
Like, yeah, let's
I
clarify.
hate
Like, I
games.
love like Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't you dare play the texting
Don't play
game
games
of
on
who
me.
can care less.
Yes.
Well, be safe out there, ladies, men, boys, fuck boys, all of you. Like, we
I'm
care about all
watching
of
you.
But like,
We
don't-
do care about all you, but
Don't
be
fuck
fucking.
with us. That's
Yeah.
what we're saying.
Just-
Don't fuck with us.
Don't fuck with us.
Yeah.
That's Mama
So,
T's slogan.
Yeah, that's
So
me.
you
Spice.
fuck with her,
Here's the
you
spice.
fuck with me.
Yeah,
fuck with all of
right.
us.
You fuck with me, you fuck with her.
You
Yeah.
don't fuck with her.
Yeah,
Don't fuck with me with the
don't
fake
fuck with the
titties.
baby. Don't put baby in the corner.
Alrighty, guys.
It's
Well,
It's getting weird.
Lady
Time to go.
Ballers.
Have a
Yes,
great
on that
night.
note.
We love you guys. Subscribe, save this shit, share it with anyone who's dealing with a fuckboy right now.
Or who is
girl,
a fuckboy.
or
Maybe they can
who
understand
is.
themselves.
Yeah, maybe they can learn something.
Probably
But
not.
just, yeah, like, subscribe, do all the things. We love you. Bye.
Bye.